Hello and good morning once again. Wanted to go live. We have a new warning, a couple of new warnings out there. A new tornado warning. That's south of our area though, so some good news for us there. That is not a tornado warning for the local area, but we do have a severe thunderstorm warning that was just issued for a good part of Rapides Parish. We have the other one for northwestern Rapides Parish. This one includes all Alexandria, Pineville, and surrounding areas. And then a big time severe thunderstorm warning here from the coast all the way up toward Ville Platte, Eunice, and almost into the west side of Opelousas there. So most of the area under a severe thunderstorm warning, but I wanted to show you, I'm a little interested in this. Near Pine Prairie. Possible little weak circulation there. And when we say weak and we're talking circulation, we certainly still want to pay attention to that. So I am keeping an idea, I'm reading something as I lots of ideas. I'm keeping this one in my back pocket watching this because you can see here as this thing crossed 165, kind of tightened up a little bit there over toward Pine Prairie. If you're in western Evangeline, you're not in that severe thunderstorm warning, but something to watch there. Keep an eye on that as that little nub on that front end of this line. Looks a little bit interesting. Now, up here into the warning, let me get you the text on this one, see what they're going with on the wind potential. Pull this up here. There we go. All right. Good morning. Yes. I will not be on for my regular live today. Well, I don't know what I'll be doing because I'm going to try to take a little rest here after all this, and then we go into, I have a meeting at 10. So it's going to be wild and crazy, but it's an important meeting about this weather venture, so we're going to do it still. All right. Rapides Parish, you're in the warning. Avoyelles, northwestern Avoyelles, and east central Vernon Parish under a severe thunderstorm warning until 5:15 a.m. at 4:11. A severe thunderstorm was located over Elmer or near Heinston, moving northeast at 40. The hazard there is 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts, maybe some penny-sized hail as well. Alexandria, Pineville, Glenmora, Alexandria International Airport, Effie, Heinston, Ball, LeCount, Tioga, everyone. Esler Regional Airport, Elmer, Kingsville, Poland, Colleen, Ruby, Holloway, DeVille, Labousse, Centerpoint, and Paradise. You're in this warning. This other warning to the back here to the left of this one, that goes until 4:30. And we'll see if they reissue this into any of southern Grant Parish or even downstream into LaSalle. But for right now, this is the latest warning that has been issued by the National Weather Service in Lake Charles. We have this other one here down in southern Evangeline, southern Allen, and then right down to the coast. I'm going to go back and take a look at that area down here in western Evangeline. Just keeping an eye on that west of Pine Prairie. Little low-level kind of circulation looking there. The inflow coming in on the north side, outflow on the southern, so a little bit of a circulation. Now, the thing with what we have going on here, we don't have a ton of surface-based instability, so it's going to be tough to get a tornado out of this kind of setup until you head further south where we have a little bit better surface-based instability. With it being more elevated, we could still see that damaging wind threat as we've been seeing here, but the fact that we don't have surface-based instability is probably putting a bit of a lid on just how bad this could be. That being said, we are up to 15,600 customers without power in the state. Here in Rapides, still at 970, over 3,000 now in Vernon, and 1,400 in Beauregard Parish with 8,200 without power in Calcasieu Parish. And there's that surge of wind that's about to move in to the west side of Alexandria. If you're on 28 West there in Gardner, you are in this now. Castor Plunge there on the west end of Woodworth. If you follow that all the way out, you're right at that apex of where that stronger straight line wind is possibly going to be, and that's why we have this severe thunderstorm warning in place until 5:15. Just got a little nudge east on that, so an update on this. Again, watching this closely, but no warning on that yet. It's not terribly strong, not seeing anything that indicates anything imminent, and they're kind of in between the warnings here, but we are watching everything. That's what we do. It's pretty loud in Colfax. Yeah, it's about to get loud across Colfax, Boyce, Ball, Alexandria, Pineville, all of Rapides Parish, and southern Grant at the very least. That's where we're seeing more of this lightning. And you can see it flickering above my head there. Let's go ahead and take a look real quick at we'll take a glance at the camera, but I think the most important thing here is to look at the future radar. So we'll start with that. Here is your future cast on the radar, which shows at 5 a.m. we still don't have the rain here in Alexandria, not the big storm. So this thing is pretty useless, or at least it's a couple hours behind. So you can see it's coming through much slower with this stuff. Earlier, we had more of a general weakening trend on this line, and I still think that's going to happen. And then beyond that into the afternoon, it looks like this thing comes through at the right time to kind of clean things out and keep us from seeing the worst of another afternoon round. That was horrible. Where are you? Let's see. Elizabeth, you should be on the west side of this by now, I believe. But let's take a look at power outages real quick. There you go, 1,400, 5,400 without power in the area. Another 8,200 down there in Calcasieu Parish, 39, 40, yeah, 5,400 as of last count. These are from earlier storms. This is new stuff. So we're going to see these numbers come up, unfortunately, over the next little bit. Let's take a look at radar, take you back through, show you what's going on. Severe thunderstorm warnings for parts of Vernon, which I think you're pretty well in the clear now. Still thundering, but not as bad on the severe threat. And then we're going to see that Rapides, most of Rapides Parish is in the warning. Northwestern Avoyelles, and then southern Evangeline, western St. Landry, and southeastern Allen. But most of this, again, working out of Allen Parish right now. So all across, if you're in this warning east of where that leading edge of these storms is, so pretty much all of Rapides Parish, your main threat's going to be 60-mile-per-hour straight line wind. It would not be stunning to see a gust up to 70 out of this, and it's not impossible that we see a. Okay, there's another tornado warning coming, but it's for the south. It's for south of us. It's not impossible that we see a spin-up tornado, though I think the best chance for that is going to be down here to the south in this part of the line, and we're about to get a new warning out there. But again, out of our area, there it is right there for Kaplan, just south of Crowley, and for Gaydon. Hold on, I'm going to sneeze. Whew. Bless me. All right. So that tornado warning just out of our area. This is something to watch down the line in Lafayette. We have that cell right there. I'm now seeing myself sneeze. We have that cell that's out ahead. That also could become severe. They just issued that tornado warning. So out of our area, let's go ahead and take a look at the severe thunderstorm warning and see what we have on our wind velocities and all that. Oh, let's look at the, earlier I had mentioned tracking the lightning to see how much, we were at 735. Let's see if we're higher. Yeah, about 888. So it's not really pulsing up much. In fact, I might be including those storms up there. Maybe we should just do this. Yeah, it's roughly the same. So we're not seeing a big time increase in the lightning. I think we're going to see a little bit of a weakening trend in this over the next couple of hours, but let's go ahead and go back over to reflectivity and show where this is all coming in right now. Lots of thunder rumbling outside right now. You see the lightning above my head there. I forgot to take a look at the camera. I'll bet we can catch a pretty cool strike on this one. There we go. All right, so this is going to be the big view of the Alexandria camera, and this is just pretty much looking west across MacArthur Drive. Not much going on out there this morning. Let me move this just a touch. Aim it more due west. As this comes in, we're going to see tons of lightning out there, but it's just lightning on this right now. If you'd like to look, it's on the app, it's on the website, and you can kind of see what's going on there. Let me go back to radar. And there's your severe thunderstorm warning. The latest one goes till 5:15 a.m. This one's going to wake you up, Alexandria. I'm sure a few of you are already awake with the rumbles out there. But this one's going to come up on us pretty quick. Just some gentle rumbling thunder so far. And then all of a sudden it's going to be like, boom, wall of lightning. Some gusty winds. And unfortunately, I do believe some power outages with this one as it rolls through. We've already seen, it looks like 4,400 new power outages across Vernon and Rapides, Vernon and Beauregard Parish. And that is at last check 4,500 actually. Just cleaning some stuff up here. Okay, so the tornado warning down south, that is just out of our area, but again, down toward Kaplan and eventually down the line toward Youngsville, Abbeville. Gaydon right now, that is where that tornado warning is. For this cell right here, let's take a look at Lake Charles radar just for a second here. And it's that area right there. And we've seen this kind of pulse up and down. You can see tons of lightning going on right there. So that one is at least announcing itself and waking everybody up. So that tornado warning continues until 4:45 a.m. 20 minutes from now. Severe thunderstorm warning continues for most of Rapides Parish. Vernon, you're still in it, but the worst is cleared. I'd say you're out of the severe threat for now. Again, tomorrow we could get another renewed threat. When I say tomorrow, I know we're in the transition between the days. I'm talking Wednesday, so that's where I'm at right now. I'm going to go back over to another radar site and show you what's going on. This is all just about to roll into the I-49 corridor. You can see from up there in Boyce, down through Alexandria, LeCount, it's about to hit that whole area. So any sort of travel plans, you might want to delay just a little bit. You can handle this rain back here, this stuff out here. It's going to look like that video that I posted for some of you earlier. That was the weirdest thing, that reel. I couldn't see it on my wife's phone, but I showed the strong wind coming in here, and a lot of people said they could see it, so I don't know what the glitch was there. Just taking a look at all my messages here, nothing going on. Everybody's still asleep in my universe because it has not woken them up here in Alexandria. All right, let me go ahead and see. It's rough near Boyce, lights blinking. No, not again. Very loud in LeCount. What are you doing down there, Lily? Oh, yeah, she's at her grandma's house. Mimi, she's at Mimi's house. Oh, my goodness. Wind picking up at AEX, that makes sense because you are right at the last check here, right on that kind of leading edge of this thing. And that's where the wind's really going to pick up. All the dogs are in your bed. That's what they like, you know. I mean, that's the dogs are they're gonna want to snuggle. Let's see, good morning, Daddy. I'm crabby. Tell the thunder to not. Girl, it's gonna keep you up for another hour because she's down there, and it's just getting started. See, that's what you heard, Lily. You're right up here. Look at that. That's where Lily is right now. That right there woke her up. Up here, haven't seen that in Alexandria. Haven't seen that much lightning yet, but these little cells out ahead are putting down some noise out ahead of that main line that is continuing in from the west right now. A lot of noise in Bunkie. Yeah, you're just getting into those front, like, leading edge storms right there. This is the main line out to your west. Let me take a look on, the one thing I didn't see was the forward speed on this one. They're saying northeast at 40 again, so up to 40 miles per hour on that forward speed. That's going to put it across the river in a couple hours, and I think we'll see a bit of a weakening trend as it continues to advance onto the east. But for now, if you're in Natchitoches, Sabine, Vernon, Beauregard Parish, 99% of Allen Parish, you are in the clear for this severe weather threat. It's getting out of your area, and yes, I know part of Allen is still under that warning, but they just haven't trimmed that back yet. Let me go back in because there's that little kink in the line. I still don't love how that thing looks. And there's something there. I'll put it in motion for you right there near Pine Prairie. So if you're in Pine Prairie, there's not a warning in effect, but this is a significant storm heading through, and you could see some perhaps damaging wind. And with that little signature showing up on radar, it wouldn't take a ton to see a little bit of a spin-up tornado possibly happen. This is not a tornado warning. I'm just saying I'm keeping an eye on that. Up here into Rapides Parish, I'm going to go with that velocity. These winds that are at about 1,200 feet above ground, they don't look crazy, but 53, 57, a lot of 40 to 60 mile per hour wind aloft. So we're going to see some gusts possibly up over 60 miles per hour. I need to check the airport and see what they've had out there in the last little bit. But this is right now just a couple of miles west of the traffic circle, probably about 4 or 5 miles west, and that is at our last scan, which was a couple of minutes ago, and this thing's moving quickly. So I'm going to go back to comments. So I have that up here. West on I-10, yeah. Heavy rain in Mamou. Winds in Grant Parish aren't going to be that bad. You're just north of the worst of this. You could see some gusts in southern parts of the parish over 40 miles per hour, but I think that area in Bentley that was impacted earlier, you're just far enough north to stay out of the worst of this. Let's put the trajectory, or let's put the motion on these. You can kind of see how that bow of stronger winds is going to come right through Alexandria and Pineville, but to the north of that signature really kind of fades out. So southern Grant Parish, about the northern extent into southern LaSalle Parish on where the strong wind threat's going to be. So the main severe threat now is over Rapides, Avoyelles, southern LaSalle, Catahoula, and Concordia, Evangeline, and down into St. Landry Parish. And once it exits those areas, we get about a 24-hour break, maybe a little bit longer. I don't think we see another big resurgence in severe threat later this afternoon, but that's going to be something I'm going to also have to look at a little bit later on. Let's see. Yeah, they're watching that area in in Evangeline Parish, and another southeast of there in East St. Landry Parish. Yeah, so these are the two areas that we're watching that Lake Charles National Weather Service is watching. I'll circle them for you just in case you don't see it. There's one. There's the other one. It's thundering out there. Winds could be 50 to 70 miles per hour up here in Rapides Parish with that warning and any of the warnings here. But those areas right there are the things we're watching for the potential for a brief spin-up tornado. So if you're, I'll take you in and show you where I'm talking about. If you're in Pine Prairie, Turkey Creek, Bayou Chico, over toward I-49, right there around the St. Landry community, up toward Lone Pine, just be on alert. You're not under a warning right now, but that's one area of rotation I'm watching. Also down toward Chautauqua, north of 190, and that's going to be, ooh, that was a good strike on the camera right there. My goodness. Over to the east toward Prairie Ronde and Swallow, Washington, Nuba, and then Opelousas. I think that circulation that we're seeing there is most likely going to stay north. But you can see clearly here, there's the one potential circulation over Chautauqua, and then the other one that is now moving toward 167 into Pine Prairie and Turkey Creek. Okay, let's see. Starting to get loud here too. Lightning's insane in Colfax. Yep, I'm just reading the comments, checking those out. So no tornado warnings coming on this right now, but we are watching carefully on the radar. And when I say we, I mean Tom's actually awake, but I mean we, me, and the National Weather Service. So possible tornado warnings if these ramp up anymore. So look out if you're up around southwestern Avoyelles, around Bunkie. We're watching that area. And then into western St. Landry Parish, this area right here is something we're watching as well. Tons of lightning on these storms, and the strong winds are just now moving into the west side of Alexandria. There it goes. Pause it. But right into like just now, actually kind of hear it picking up out there. But Twin Bridges Road out the southwest side of Alexandria, so moving into like Good Earth, that area, up here toward Versailles, that's where I'm at, and I'm about to, I can hear it picking up out there. So getting into this, and then this thing's like, it's moving 40 miles an hour, and it's 10 miles across. So you're looking at about 15 minutes of madness, and then you're back into that light to moderate rainfall. So it's not going to be quite as bad after about 15 minutes. And that's when the wind's going to come through. We'll see if I lose power. If I do, it kicks off. It kicks right back on. Thank you, Ward Electric. Yeah, I hear it getting loud outside. I hear the wind picking up. Oh, yeah. The door just went, yep, I'm hearing the doors kind of flip and flap. Oh yeah, we've definitely got some wind cranking up here. Let me see what the airport measured. Yeah, I can hear that sideways rain hitting. I believe my wife has woken up. I hear her rummaging around out there. Lily's not here, so if it's not her, I don't know who it is. But that is your line of severe storms. Looks a little more discontinuous now. We're not seeing that straight line that we saw earlier, and that's prompted a new severe thunderstorm warning that includes parts of Avoyelles, St. Landry, southern Rapides. That's going to cover the rest of Rapides Parish, and then parts of Evangeline. As of 4:25, we had not had a gust out at the airport. I don't think we've gotten that 4:30 report in just yet. So let me look at this latest warning. All right. I'm going to pull up the text on this one. New tornado warning coming out soon. I don't know which one that's going to be for, if that's down here. But all along that line from northern Rapides, right on the Rapides-Grant border, all the way down to the coast, we have severe thunderstorm warnings in place with that one tornado warning down south. The new tornado warning is going to include parts of St. Landry and Evangeline Parish. So I'll get to that in just 1 second. Once that hits the system. Here's your severe thunderstorm warning. This is for southeastern Rapides, central Evangeline, southwestern Avoyelles, north central St. Landry, and northeastern Allen Parish, barely clipping northeastern Allen. At 4:33 a.m., a severe thunderstorm was located near Pine Prairie or near Turkey Creek, moving northeast at 30 miles per hour. 60-mile-per-hour winds and penny-sized hail are possible. Locations: Oakdale, Marksville, Bunkie, Glenmora, Moraville, Cheneyville, Turkey Creek, Morrow, Cottonport, Pine Prairie, Mansura, Hesmer, Evergreen, Plocheville, Bayou Chico, Goodo, Indian Lake, Whiteville, Big Cane, and DuPont. All right, now that tornado warning has just come out. Pulling that up to look at. Okay, 4:34 a.m. National Weather Service in Lake Charles has issued a tornado warning for southeastern Evangeline, north central Acadia, and central St. Landry Parish, and that's because of that circulation we were talking about, the second one on the south end. Severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located over Chautauqua or near Eunice, moving east at 35 miles per hour. Flying debris will be dangerous to anyone caught outside in this. This is going to be near Opelousas, Swords, Prairie Ronde, and Lawtell around 4:40 a.m. and Grand Prairie around 4:50 a.m. That's for that tornado warning across St. Landry Parish and parts of Evangeline Parish, and even down into northern Acadia. Let's look at velocity. That's why we have the tornado warning there. This one looks like it's maybe a little bit more washed out than it was a little bit earlier. Let me put it in motion here. That right there, this area, that's prompted the tornado warning. This one here, not seeing a warning on it. Looked like it did kind of spin up there for a second right there near Pine Prairie, and that's going to continue to move on toward the northeast through Bunkie and Marksville. So severe thunderstorm warnings now also going up into Grant and southern central parts of LaSalle Parish. Looks like they are going to possibly get clipped by some of these stronger winds. Shouldn't go much further north than that, if at all. Let me get to that warning for you, because that's a new one. All right, southeastern Grant Parish, southeastern Natchitoches Parish, and central LaSalle Parish. You are in this severe thunderstorm warning. Now, I know I said Natchitoches is pretty much in the clear. It barely clips the southeastern corner there. So at 4:34 a.m., severe thunderstorms were along a line extending from near Lena to Alexandria International Airport to near Glenmora, moving east at 30. 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts and quarter-size hail are possible. This could impact Nebo, Rogers, Catahoula Lake, Pollock, Flatwoods, Midway, Dry Prong, Fishville, Gina, Bentley, Colfax, and Ball. Now, I think the worst of this is going to stay south of that warning, but in an abundance of caution, they're going to put this warning out there for that northern side of this line here, where we kind of have that comma head that was trying to form earlier. That surge of wind is continuing through Alexandria right now. Let me take a look at a couple of things here. We are, let's see. I'm looking to see if I can get a wind reading out of AEX, see if they've had one update. And they have not since 425. Ooh, come on. All right, so the tornado circulation potentially is south of Chautauqua and heading toward Ladue in St. Landry Parish. And yeah, we're watching that one carefully. Loads of severe thunderstorm warnings from Gina and southern Grant Parish all the way down to the coast there in Vermilion Parish and into eastern Cameron Parish. And we have 2 tornado warnings, one out of the area to the south in Vermilion and parts of Acadia Parish, and then another one clipping northern Acadia Parish into St. Landry and Evangeline Parish. And that looks like a nasty little hook right there. Let's go back and take a look at, storm relative. And yeah, that's our circulation. That's the one that we're monitoring very closely. I don't see anything showing up on debris tracker, so good news there. Let's look at Lake Charles, not seeing it there. You can see the little area of rotation, not quite as strong up in toward Pine Prairie. So this one has kind of taken over as the dominant area we're watching right now. I'm going to go back to our other radar site. 1 second. That warning, by the way, up in Grant and LaSalle goes until 5:30 a.m. All right, at 4:30, we were gusting to 25 at the airport. No big deal there. Let me go back over to, All right, going back over to Facebook, checking it out. Let's see, bad at AEX sideways. Yeah, it's definitely raining sideways out there. Let's go over to the camera looking west from Texas Avenue at the radio station. That's what it looks like a few seconds ago. It's about a, 10, 15 second delay on this. If I ever need to get it real time, I can do that. It's just, this is a much easier process. Let's see, taking something off here. There we go. Get out of there. Trees don't look like they're swaying too much there right now. I'm sure that as this thing came in, it was definitely doing that. Still got a lot of lightning going on. It hasn't been terribly loud at the house right now, but you can see lights are still on, so that's a good sign. Lights are still on here. We never lost power. So tell me if you did. I mean, I have my little damage report thread going, but I'm watching all this now. South of Pollock around Bob. Are you good to go back to sleep? You're under the warning. I would lean toward the worst of that being to your south, but you are under a severe thunderstorm warning for the next, I guess, about 35, 40 minutes in that area. The tornado warning down in Vermilion Parish is going to be allowed to expire. They're continuing the tornado warning on the Acadia, Evangeline, and St. Landry Parish storm. So this tornado warning continues. I believe they're going to cancel this one. And here's why they are continuing it. We have a pretty stout-looking little couplet on radar. When we look at velocity, we're seeing that now moving toward Ladue and Washington down the road toward 49. So maybe mile marker 23 up to 30-ish. Down there in St. Landry Parish, that's where this is going to eventually cross. Now, we have not seen a confirmed tornado here. I'm not seeing any debris showing up, but there is the possibility for a quick spin up with this as this line continues to press onto the east. We were also watching an area up here in northern Evangeline Parish earlier, and still keeping an eye on that, but as of now, that one only prompting a severe thunderstorm warning. We're in the heavy rain here in Alexandria. They just trimmed back some of that severe thunderstorm warning into southwestern Rapides Parish. So, again, if you're in Natchitoches Parish, I know a little sliver is under that warning. I just think the worst of it's well east of you. A lot of moderate rain behind this, and we have some lightning even in that that shield of rain behind it. This main line of storms, that's really the main show with this one, and this is continuing to advance quickly from west to east through the area. So let me clean things up. I'm going to take warnings off for a minute. That doesn't mean they go away, but this will show you the evolution of that circulation that's really weakening, that's moving in toward Bunkie, so not as worried about that. But this one that's going to cross 49 here around Washington, just north of Opelousas, that's the one that prompted the tornado warning, and we still have that tornado warning in effect for that area, which includes parts of St. Landry, Evangeline, and even just a little nugget of northern Acadia Parish. Let me see. I'm looking through the comments. Thundering and lightning. Yes, Lily, it's going to rain. West Point's out of power. Ugh. LeCount's getting it good. Power is out on Mary Jude Loop. Leesville lost power. You're not good to drive in Alexandria. Give it 15, 20 minutes if you can. It's through Oakdale. All right, see, that's as quick as it got. I mean, Oakdale, you were in the thick of it for about 15, 20 minutes, and now it's gone. Yeah, you'll be okay in Colfax. I think, you could see some wind gusts up there. It's going to be loud, but I'm not incredibly worried. Nothing tornadic or anything like that. Port Barre down the line. This line is going to come on through there. It's probably going to surge through here in the next hour or so, and you do have the severe threat right there as well. That line is continuing to pretty much march from west to east, and that's going to take it across the Mississippi River and out of St. Landry Parish, probably within an hour or so. So some of these warnings, it goes until, I believe, 5:30 here in or 5:15 here in Alexandria. I think the worst of it's out of here in 10, 15 minutes. Grand Prairie in Washington, yeah, that's the area that we're really watching down there. That's where we could see some issues. So let's lock in on that right now. Washington, Plaisance, Swallow, that area, that's where that circulation is right now. Looks like it's going to stay north of Opelousas. And when I say circulation, I'm talking about this broad area here. I'm not seeing I'm not seeing debris, or haven't yet. Not seeing debris. Reflectivity a little messy. Definitely some sort of circulation in here. We're looking at about 4,000 feet up, though, so that does not mean that we're going to see this thing definitely touch down or anything. We're getting into that radar hole out here across St. Landry Parish, and while this does show a circulation aloft, this does not show me that we have a definitive tornado on the ground, but it certainly was enough to have that warning come out, because along these front edges of lines like this, that's where we do see things spin up quickly, so I would rather be cautious on this stuff. Not seeing any sort of tornadic circulations up into Rapides Parish, much more straight line look to it. If anything, it's kind of bowing out across Alexandria, and then those straight line winds continue to push eastward across eastern Rapides Parish, and those will be nudging into Avoyelles Parish very soon. So yeah, you're under that warning in the western half or a little more of Avoyelles Parish, and that it stays west of Simmsport. And then when you get onto this more rural area, you're not in it. Bordelonville, Big Bend, you're not in the warning, but Mansura, Marksville, Bellido, Bunkie, you're all in the warning, and you can see that tornado warning that's sneaking up into a good chunk of St. Landry Parish. So I'm going to check something on my camera, make sure it's pointing the right way at LeBeau there at Stellies, because that place always seems like the hot spot for crazy weather, doesn't it? Just pointing it in the right direction. All right, and Gina, just adjusting these on the fly here. We're going to go southwest. All right. Okay, so I got those set. The Natchitoches and the Toledo Bend camera, they're not going to be seeing anything right now. But that tornado warning is moving toward Washington right now. Port Barre, you're in the tornado warning. It looks like that's going to stay north of you. You can see here that's where your circulation is. It's moving kind of east-northeast, so that should keep this up toward Washington. It's not a confirmed tornado, but there is that tornado warning in place. And a new large severe thunderstorm warning kind of covering that whole southern flank of the line has just come out. That includes all of St. Landry Parish. You're all under the warning now. Actually, I'll just read it to you. It's going to have tons of parishes. So, National Weather Service has issued a severe thunderstorm warning for parts of Iberia, Lafayette, southeastern Evangeline, Acadia Parish, northeastern Vermilion, northwestern St. Martin Parish, and all of St. Landry Parish. Until 5:45 a.m., severe thunderstorms are located along a line from Chico State Park to near Kaplan, moving northeast at 35. The hazard is 60-mile-per-hour winds and penny-sized hail. Locations impacted: Lafayette, New Iberia, Opelousas, Crowley, Abbeville, Catahoula, Eunice, Scott, Breaux Bridge, Rain, Carencro, Ville Platte, St. Martinville, Kaplan, Church Point, Mamou, Krotz Springs, Leonville, Arnaville, and Melville. So a lot of folks impacted by that warning there, and that's the one here across the southern kind of half of that line. They kind of piece them together a little bit up this way, but that is a big broad brush warning down there for a good chunk of south central Louisiana for mainly damaging wind with that one. They did have a 61-mile-per-hour wind gust down in South Louisiana reported. So let's see what they're updating warnings. I'm just looking at all this. Updates warning, cancels, Vernon. Okay, so they canceled. So Vernon, you're out of this. Southwest Rapides Parish, you're out of it. Let me take it off of that and put this in motion. You can see that line just continuing to accelerate across the area. Gonna be a pretty quick hit. It sounds a little quieter here in town already. We did not lose power at my house. I'm going to see what we have now. We're at 14,473 without power. That is as of 4:42, so 6 minutes ago. That's pretty fresh. Up to 1,054 in Rapides Parish. So that only added about 80 people or 80 customers to the power outages. Not bad so far. Vernon is at 3,100. Beauregard, 1,269. Calcasieu, they're getting people's lights back on. They're up to 6,700 from about 8,200 without power a little bit earlier. I think my cat literally just ran into the door. Genius. All right, so thunderstorms continuing across a good chunk of the area. Up to the north, Wynn Parish, haven't mentioned you. It's just rain. You'll hear some thunder. Northern LaSalle, northern Catahoula, northern Concordia. I think... you're a little bit better off than the southern parts of your parish, as I do expect severe thunderstorm warnings to be added for those areas here in a little bit, and the rest of Avoyelles Parish, you'll be in that warning as well. The tornado warning continues for St. Landry Parish and parts of Evangeline as well. Let me take a look at the latest scan on that. And that looks a little more interesting there near Washington. So if you are in Washington, you want to go ahead and seek shelter with this one as it heads in toward your area, because a brief tornado is possible, and it doesn't take a long time for a tornado to cause some big problems. All right. Hey, Mom, you're up. Thought you told me to go back to bed. Kingsville, you're in the severe thunderstorm warning. No tornado threat from what I'm seeing up that way. We're just seeing some strong wind here. And actually, up in that area, we'll see things start to calm down here in probably about 10-15 minutes. And we're already, here on the west side of Alexandria, it sounds a little bit better right now. And we do still have some heavy rain falling, but it looks like the wind threat is coming down a little bit on this western side of the line. All right, no, it seems like every time I zoom in, I zoom out, and there's a new warning, but not right now, so that's some good news. You have no lights in Alexandria? Yeah, I fear that that number is going to come up a bit. Again, it went from 970 to 1054. Still a pretty low percentage of people without power in Rapides Parish, but that was as of 8 minutes ago. So I'm sure some more tree limbs have fallen, unless we cleared them all out earlier today, which I don't think we did. A severe thunderstorm warning continues in an arc from central Grant Parish all the way down to the coast. That includes Lafayette, Opelousas, Bunkie, Marksville, Mamou, Ville Platte, Woodworth, Alexandria. We're all under this, but we're going to start to see some of this western part of the warning get trimmed off as we get a little bit later into this, and this thing continues to move on to the east. Let me look at the comments, see what we got. Haven't had power in Grant since 11 a.m. yesterday. Ugh. Man. Yeah, I wish if my cat spoke English, it'd be a wild world, let me tell you. AEX calming, nice, good to hear that. Still got the lightning cranking, but can I go back to sleep in ball? Oh, give it 10 minutes, just in case. You got the heavier stuff is just on your doorstep, so this is going to be kind of the worst of it right now. But that is that. Oh. Okay, so Forest Hill, you're getting close to the end on this. You're on the backside, so things are going to be improving. LeCount, you probably have another 15, 20 minutes. Cheneyville, Lloyd Hall, that area, you're just getting into this. And Avoyelles Parish, you are also just getting into this. And you might be hearing some thunder out there in Mansura, maybe even hearing some rumbles in Simmsport. But this is the main line right here. As this comes through, it's going to get a lot louder. Marksville, yeah, you're right. You're probably about a half an hour from the worst of this thing. DeVille, probably about 10 minutes from the worst of it. Though I think the worst of this has been kind of shifting further south. So even up here in this warning in LaSalle and parts of Grant Parish, it's just maybe you get some gusty wind out of this, but I think that's more generally going to be some heavy rain and a lot of thunder. Yeah, the heavy stuff probably did just hit Colleen. Looks like to me on the last little scan of radar here in the last 15 minutes or so, it looks like the worst of this is now south of Alexandria on that part of the line, from basically around the Woodworth exit down through, well, all the way almost to the coast, where we have that tornado warning in Evangeline and St. Landry Parish, and then we had that tornado warning earlier down there in parts of Vermilion Parish near Kaplan and Abbeville. But that one has been allowed to cancel. Let me see if they're discussing this warning that's going on, and we'll look at velocity and everything here in just a second. Yeah, main concern with this line is going to be 60-mile-per-hour straight line wind. Yes, we have that tornado warning, but so far we have not seen damage reports with that. Actually, let's count the lightning. Yeah, we're up to 957, so some of those cells increasing just a bit. Velocity data showing our that we had that circulation near Pine Prairie that faded out, kind of washed out. This one near Washington, that one is a little bit more substantial. And while we're not seeing damage reports or radar confirmation, there is still a tornado warning for the potential of a tornado to spin up out of this near Washington right now, about to cross over I-49. Yeah, that's probably just about there right now, right over mile marker 25 to 30. That's where the worst of this one is. If you're way up here, where, you know, right near the Evangeline Parish line, probably not going to be in the worst of this one like they are down that way. This one's going to be right across the central part of this warning here, across 49 right now. Again, mile marker 25 to 30. That's where the worst of this thing is crossing. Let's see. Lights blinking in LeCount. Let's see if I have an update on that. I don't. I think those come in like every 15 to 20 minutes. All right. Reflectivity, putting it in motion. Reflectivity is just radar, if you hear me saying that. Yeah, so they have not seen any damage reports on the tornadoes and everything. You know what? I'm actually going to go to my damage report thread and make sure I'm not missing anything. Right. got to find it. Okay. Good. I like it. Sometimes if that thing goes to like 150 comments in 10 minutes, I'm like, uh-oh, it's only at 20 right now. All right. Not seeing a ton. It says power out again off Twin Bridges Road. 20 minutes ago was bad in Lena. Okay, so I'm going to go back to the regular comments here. Just didn't want to be missing something in those comments and not be telling you that. So the severe thunderstorm warnings continue from parts of Grant and LaSalle Parish down to parts of Rapides, Avoyelles, Evangeline, all of St. Landry Parish, and then points south from there. We still have a tornado warning that goes until 5:15, or until 5. Wait, actually, see, I think the tornado warning does go until 5. Okay, yeah, 5 o'clock. So that tornado warning goes until 5 o'clock, so that is another 4 minutes. We'll see if they're going to reissue that. They have not said anything about that just yet. Let's take a look at velocity. Storm relative velocity, it's kind of like you're riding along with the storm, and you can see why we have a tornado warning there. We do have that circulation that is just north of Washington on Interstate 49, crossing the road right now, crossing the interstate, I guess I should say, and that is going to have this out near Palmetto and Bolden, Rosa, LeBeau. Once again here, LeBeau is in the crosshairs, though this one does not look nearly as rough as what we saw several weeks ago. But I am going to keep that camera up here just to keep an eye on things. I'm sure a lot of lightning happening down that way as that tornado warning continues for a few more minutes. So we'll see if that tornado warning is going to be reissued or if they're going to go with a severe thunderstorm warning. I don't like seeing these cells forming out ahead, but most of that is going to end up well east of us. I think that's going to probably head up through New Roads and Jackson up into Woodville, Mississippi. So I'm just looking through the lightning to see if I see anything on the LeBeau camera, and I don't see any sort of lowering or wall cloud or anything. If anything, it looks a little bit more shelfy. All right, let's go back to the comments, see what we have. How you doing? Thank you, Deborah. I appreciate it. I love being here doing this. This is fun stuff. Now, ideally, it would be during the day, because I like sleep as well, but that's okay. That's what we do. Whenever the weather comes to you, we're going to be here and talking about it. Let's see. Big Bend, Bordelonville. You're about to get hit pretty solid. You know, I think you're probably going to see some strong wind out of this, maybe some 50 to 60 mile per hour gusts, but I don't think it's going to be. I don't think the tornado threat's going to be real high as this continues on to the east. And we just don't have a ton of surface-based instability with this. So that is keeping the tornado threat low but not non-existent, because along this squall line we are seeing a couple of spin-ups trying to happen. That had that one earlier near Pine Prairie that didn't quite make it, and this one trying over 49 just north of Washington. Yeah, Grand Prairie getting loud. Pretty rough in Plocheville. Yeah, I'm not surprised. This whole thing's going to roll right across, and now it's moving out of Rapides into Avoyelles. We're going to see these warnings trim back just a bit. I could see that one being canceled altogether up in Grant and LaSalle at some point fairly soon. That one goes until 5:30. But our tornado warning in 2 minutes. We'll see if they reissue. Not sure what they're going to do. They're not showing their hand in the chat here, but severe thunderstorm warnings do continue for a large chunk of the area. As you know, from what I'm seeing on the early returns here, like, I'm not getting the same vibe I was getting earlier today with those storms. That's when we had, you know, power going out all over the place. Tons of people saying trees were down and trees were down on homes and all that. Not seeing that this time. We are up to 1544 without power in Rapides, and right at 3,000 in Vernon. That's actually down a little bit. And the numbers are coming down, and that's mainly thanks to Calcasieu Parish getting back online here. They're down to 3,100 without power from about 8,200, and Beauregard at 1,338. St. Landry now up to 1,449 without power, so that shows me that this cell here with the tornado warning, that is probably putting out some strong wind regardless. If there's a tornado or not, we're definitely seeing some strong wind. So back to velocity mode, looks like that. I'm guessing they're not going to reissue, but let's put it it in motion and see if anything nefarious is happening here. It looks more like straight line to me at this point, so we'll see what they decide to do with that. If they go with a severe thunderstorm warning, I'll probably step away for a bit, and I'll keep watching. All I'm doing is sitting here and hanging out and doing all that stuff. But it looks like heavy wind is going to be our main concern. Straight line winds from 50 to 60 miles per hour. Earlier, it looked like they could be a little bit worse than that, but right now, from what I'm seeing, those numbers are coming down just a little bit. And the tornado warning did go away, so that's one bit of good news. AEX gusted to 52. I mean, earlier we hit 54, so we gusted to 52 out of this one with, looks like 0.62 inches of rain from what I'm seeing here. But the gusts, we hit 52 twice at 440 and 444. And then from 445 to 455, our wind gusts stayed in the 40 mile per hour range. So we kept some pretty solid winds here for a good while. So that's what you can kind of plan for. 40 to 60 mile per hour winds along this line, most likely going to be straight line. I'm not seeing this area that we were watching down here is looking much improved. That little nudge right there toward Marksville, that could be another surge in the stronger wind gusts. So if you are out here, Bellido, Marksville, Belleville, Cocoville, that area eventually down the line toward Bruyette, you could see some of that stronger wind that's coming through Poland right now. I'll go see what 50, 54. Yeah, very, very likely. That looks similar to what we had when this was coming through the airport area where we measured 52. So 50 plus mile per hour wind gusts with some isolated 60 plus mile per hour gusts are likely up here into southern Grant and southern LaSalle Parish. I think your severe threat is very low. So you still have that warning there. That goes until 5:30. Would not be stunning to see that go away. Let me see if they're saying anything on that. Nope. They might just let it ride too. So looks like things are becoming a bit more ragged on the northern end of the line, but where we still have a little bit more instability down here to the south, that thing is holding together pretty well. Now, there is a tornado warning coming out. Let me see where it is. This is going to be this is a small area. That's on this cell. So this is going to clip southeastern St. Landry and parts of St. Martin Parish. So let me see exactly where they draw this thing. There it is. There's your tornado warning. And this is for around Henderson. And then that's going to head up toward Krotz Springs, right over Cecilia and Henderson along I-10 right now. And this is going to just clip a little southeastern part of St. Landry Parish. So I'll stick with this. That's our area. So we have a tornado warning, not going to go away on you. We'll just keep watching it and seeing what we have going on. Let me see. I'm going to read you this warning. Tornado warning for northwestern St. Martin and southeastern St. Landry Parish. At 5:01 a.m., a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located over Cecilia or near Breaux Bridge, moving northeast at 25 miles per hour. That's for that area right there. This is going to be near Henderson, Atchafalaya National Wildlife Refuge, Cecilia, and the Atchafalaya Welcome Center around 5:05 a.m. So right down here, that's a pretty rural area, but if you are in southeastern St. Landry Parish and you're on West Atchafalaya Levee Road, Vanita Lane, Whiskey Bay Highway, that area, which is just across the river into, I believe that's Point Coupee Parish, you are under this tornado warning, or actually that's St. Martin Parish. So if you are in those areas, you are under a tornado warning here. Let's see. And that goes in effect from now until 5:30 a.m. It's moving fairly slowly, so that's why they're going with the half-hour warning on that one. It's a small warning. These things have kind of spun up and down quickly, so I will keep you posted on that one. Let me see. Going back to comments. Severe thunderstorms continue to push eastward across the area. Let's go with the reflectivity on this radar. shows us a better idea. Still that warning up in Gina and down through parts of Grant Parish. So Grant and LaSalle, the southern half, you're under that severe thunderstorm warning. Still some strong storms, well, severe storms here in eastern Rapides down to western Avoyelles and now moving into St. Landry. Evangeline, you're clearing out. Again, they're going to pretty much clear out most of this area west of 49, north of St. Landry Parish. That severe threat is really dropping. Like in the city of Alexandria, I would say your severe threat is pretty much gone right now. I love how I took a little victory sip there. But if you're in Bunkie, if you're in Marksville, Mansura, Simsport, Bellido, you're under this right now. Morrow, Bayou Jack, Rosa, LeBeau, Opelousas, you're under the gun right now. Still strong straight line winds possible there, and that isolated brief tornado threat as well. This cell right here, we don't like to see those cells form out ahead of the main line, and this is why. We can see those tap into that instability and low-level wind shear that is available. And right now we have a tornado warning on this cell, and looks like a severe thunderstorm watch was just issued as well. I'll get the details on that. All right, severe thunderstorm watch. This includes Catahoula and Concordia Parish. I don't know if that includes Avoyelles. I don't think it does. It would be clickable. It's until 1 p.m. Now, let me tell you something. That's from Meridian down to Gulfport. This thing is going to be canceled by 6 in Catahoula and Concordia. It's going to move quickly through there. So I'm not worried about a long-term threat up in our northern parishes like that. But the severe thunderstorm watch has been issued. I think that means it could be quite rough here across southeast Louisiana and into Mississippi later today. So any travel plans, I know we're just coming off Memorial Day, so I think a lot of you have done your traveling, but if you are heading somewhere or heading home tomorrow, or today, whatever it is, you could have that severe threat out through Mississippi and southeast Louisiana. On the Grand Rapids line, wind and rain just picked up. Let's see. Yeah, you can go back to sleep in Pollock. Tornado just touched down, you think, besides Cabrini. I was outside working on the ambulance and all. Okay. I'll be watching for that. I'll be watching for any damage reports I see and hear and all that good stuff. Not seeing anything on the chat coming through. Power outages up to 1544 here in Rapides Parish. That was from, I believe, 570 that were, no, I'm sorry, that was Grant Parish. We're around 900. So we've only added about 600 to that number. 1 second. Right, so they're updating these warnings. I would assume they're trimming some of this out. You can see northwestern Rapides Parish, they have been trimmed out of this warning. LaSalle and Grant continue to be in the warning, but it doesn't look that bad. Severe thunderstorm warnings continue, though, especially this area in eastern Rapides down through western Avoyelles Parish into St. Landry. That's where the worst of this is. And then, of course, the tornado warning is where the worst of the worst is. So that tornado warning right there was issued for this cell that's moving out of St. Martin Parish. It's going to clip southeastern St. Landry Parish, and I'm looking at a different radar just to see if I see a little different look into this thing. Rain's going to linger for a couple, maybe 3 hours behind this thing. Once the heaviest stuff rolls through, then you're going to see that rain continue. It's just going to get a lot lighter. But that tornado warning continues for that cell right over Breaux Bridge, that area, and just east of Lafayette along I-10, and that's going to move northeast. Eventually down the line toward Livonia and New Roads, hopefully we see that thing break up as it gets that way. Looks like they did trim back that warning in Rapides Parish. I'll show you who got yanked out of it. That's pretty much, again, that west of I-49 area. So if you are in Alexandria, I think you can safely go to bed. You're good to go. I really think up here in Grant Parish, the only threat would be for some isolated wind that knocks something loose that happened earlier today. And then down to the south, eastern Rapides Parish into Avoyelles and St. Landry, that's where the real severe threat remains right now. But it's moving quickly out of Rapides Parish. Avoyelles, St. Landry, pretty much the ones that are under the gun right now. And we have that tornado warning down here in southeastern parts of St. Landry Parish. Very small chunk of southeastern St. Landry. So if you hear tornado warning for St. Landry Parish, don't worry. That's not you in Opelousas. That's not you in LeBeau. That's not you in Morrow. Not you in Big Cane or Eunice or anything like that. That is confined down here to this area just south of Krotz Springs, south of 190, into the southeastern corner of the parish, and then down towards Cecilia and Henderson. But when I look at velocity on this, I'm not seeing a ton. I'm just, I don't, this isn't one of those that I think's on the ground. Checking everything. Let's see where that little guy was. Where did it come from? Yeah, that doesn't look like anything. So yeah, I don't think there's a tornado on the ground with this one. I don't see that as a massive threat, but there is a tornado warning going with it, so we'll stick with it here for a little bit. Severe thunderstorm warnings continue across. There's a new one for Catahoula and Concordia, LaSalle, Grant Parish. This is where I think the threat is a little lower. Rapides, Avoyelles, St. Landry still under the gun here. Evangeline, you're pretty much in the clear. Time to trim that warning back, and once that happens, you will officially be in the clear, but I'm going with it. I'm going to tell you that you are all good to go there. Back to the comments. All right. Can you head to work now from Colleen to Alexandria? We got some heavy rain, but you're behind the real severe stuff. So, yeah, I think you can do it. You're going to get wet on the way to the car. But other than that, unless you're under the garage, then you're good. Monterey area, you are in this, I would imagine you're close to this severe thunderstorm warning, if nothing else. That goes until 6:15. Now, that one is not impressing me, what we're seeing there. I think they're kind of banking on some of this stuff to shift up to the north, but I just think we lose instability up that way. And when we see these storms cross into that area, kind of north of Alexandria, you can see how they just kind of lose their identity. We don't see that solid wall of red that we see in some of these other areas. All right, let me go to the warning text on this thing. There we go. I have to go to a different weather office. Just takes me 1 second, and I will be there. Severe thunderstorm warning. Okay, this is going to be the latest severe thunderstorm warning. This is for southwestern Concordia and southwestern Catahoula Parish in northeastern Louisiana until 6:15 a.m. We have a confirmed tornado to the south, too. Just a second on that. Severe thunderstorms were located along a line from Ball to Evergreen to Port Barry, moving northeast at 40. This is going to impact Jonesville, Monterey, Archie, Mena, Larto, Acme, Walters, New Era, Black Hawk, Manifest, and Slocum. And let's see what we have on that warning down south now. It is confirmed. Okay, tornado warning. Confirmed tornado near Henderson or 9 miles east of Arnaville, moving northeast at 25. This is now a radar confirmed tornado. So let me take a look at it. Again, didn't look terribly impressive on radar, but it looks like they have confirmed this on radar around Henderson and Cecilia there, and this is going to cross into southeastern St. Landry Parish. Again, not seeing anything crazy on this on the velocity, but I guess they are saying that that is a correlation coefficient drop right there. Looked kind of wonky to me with all those 1, 2, 3, 4. Just so we had a kind of a line of things there. We'll watch and see what we get on that. But they have niftier tools than me, and they're going with confirmed on this one. Let me see if they've posted anything in the chat about it. If you are in Krotz Springs, you're going to want to seek shelter. You're not technically in this warning, but you need to be careful with this one. Let's see, tornado warning. Yep. Okay. So. Yeah, if there was a tornado with this thing, it would have been right around here, which is northeast of Cecilia, north of Henderson, and that, if it's still on the ground, it's kind of a weak signature right there. That is going to probably go south of Krotz Springs, south of Sherburne. It's going to be close, though, so you're going to want to seek shelter in those areas. Velocity, again, not showing up with a ton on this one. So tornado warning, they're going confirmed tornado on this one. So we will keep an eye on that. Severe thunderstorm warnings continue across the northern part of the region, actually across a good chunk of the region here from Catahoula and Concordia, LaSalle and Grant, all the way down through St. Landry Parish. All of St. Landry Parish under some form of a warning this morning. And then, again, I think it's going to get trimmed back out of Evangeline. I think your threat is down. It's much lower. All right, so we got an update on power outages. 1,600 in Rapides Parish. That did not come up that much. Grant, they added 7. St. Landry Parish at 1,664 on power outages. And 2,700 in Beauregard, 3,000 in Vernon Parish, where it's just light rain now. And that's what we'll see behind this is a light, steady kind of rain for a couple hours, and then things are going to calm down. Lightning is nasty, and Colleen, you just lost power and ball. Oh, you almost made it. I mean, you're back into the not even crazy stuff there. Ugh. Men's breakfast at the Methodist Church in Bunkie. Yeah, you'll be good. I mean, it's going to go through. You're going to still have some thunder, but it's going to be light rain from here on out. The worst is through Bunkie. So the worst is through Alexandria, Woodworth, Bunkie, Pollock, Dry Prong. Mansura, Marksville, you're about to get it. You're kind of in the worst of it right now. But areas that are done with the worst of this, Bayou Chico, Pine Prairie, Chautauqua, Eunice, Opelousas, you're behind the worst of this. So is that a new severe thunderstorm warning? I think they did issue a new one. Yeah, that's a new one for Rapides and Avoyelles. And that's going to remove Alexandria from the threat, and that we knew that. And they're expiring. Another warning. We'll see. Okay, so National Weather Service in Lake Charles has issued a severe thunderstorm warning for northeastern Rapides and northwestern Avoyelles Parish until 6 a.m. Severe thunderstorm was located over Ruby or near Effie, moving northeast at 40. Hazard is 60-mile-per-hour wind and penny-sized hail. This is going to impact Effie, DeVille, Poland, Centerpoint, Ruby, Holloway, and Essler Field. So if you are in those areas, that's that new warning right there. Triangle right there. And then we still have a confirmed tornado tag on this thing. I'm going to see if I saw anything in that area on this radar. Man, it's tough to diagnose sometimes on this. I mean, that could be it right there. And that's where they confirmed it. So that would be the area we're looking at, south of Krotz Springs. We'll just have to keep an eye on that one. This is going to push out of our area very quickly. This is just barely into southeastern St. Landry Parish, and that's going to run up here into Iberville Parish, and then eventually over into Point Coupee Parish, where a severe thunderstorm watch has been issued, and we're watching for the potential of a tornado. It looks like a tornado touchdown here in southeastern St. Landry, extreme southeastern St. Landry, or extreme northern St. Martin Parish. Picking up over Highway 8 in Pollock. Come on, Pollock, settle down. Yeah, you still got a lot of lightning and thunder and decent rain, but the severe threat should be low. I mean, there are still lightning strikes happening on the western side of this into that main rain shield. Not seeing much out here toward Natchitoches Parish, maybe a few rumbles up there into Wynn and Natchitoches Parish, but I think things are quieting down on the whole in those areas. All right, so that is what's going on right now. Lightning counter is at 1183, so we have seen this line pulsing up as it heads to the east. Kind of thought it might weaken. We've seen it weakening a bit on the northern flank here, but the southern side, or right through the middle more or less, we've seen a bunch of issues here with this thing as it's producing some wind gusts on the order of 50 to 70 miles per hour, and at least one confirmed tornado showing up per the National Weather Service here in southeastern St. Landry Parish right now. St. Francisville, you're going to see, you have that severe thunderstorm watch in place. I think that's isolated damaging wind is going to be your main threat. Well, you're welcome, Shanna or Shauna. I don't know how to say it. I'm gonna screw it up. Palmetto, you're in it right now. Palmetto, you're getting the heavy stuff now. I think you're going to be north of where that tornado is going to pass through, but or where it allegedly is on the ground right now. I'm watching this area closely, but from what I'm seeing, I think the worst of this thing, I think it might have peaked in intensity and we might have seen a brief touchdown, but as it looks right now on radar, again, we're looking at like 6,700 feet up. So it's tough to see a lot of this stuff in these areas. But if we do have debris, it's just south of Krotz Springs there. And I'm sure they'll go out and survey this later just to see what's happening or what happened. And we'll see. But that little isolated supercell out ahead of that's going to merge with this line. And we are going to see, I think, some pretty solid action as this moves out of our area. For for our area right now. Still some severe thunderstorm warnings in progress, but Avoyelles and St. Landry Parish are where the worst of things are right now. Now that tornado warning, that confirmed tornado warning, goes until 5:30 a.m. So 11 more minutes on that one, and we'll see if they stick with that. Looking at the Jackson, Mississippi stuff to see if they're talking about these warnings at all. They didn't say anything. All right, so that is that's what's happening right now. Severe thunderstorm warnings with at least one tornado possibly on the ground there in southeastern St. Landry. But Alexandria, if you have the time, if you have to be at work at 8 and you have to do your hair like I do, which is like that, go take a couple-hour nap. Get some sleep in. You're done. No big severe weather. The severe threat continues up here in the eastern parishes, so Catahoula, Concordia, Avoyelles, St. Landry, you're under the severe thunderstorm warnings, but I think back toward Grant Parish, most of that parish is looking good, and even LaSalle, it's not looking too crazy on this northern end right now, though we will keep an eye on those storms as they continue to rumble on through. But storm relative velocity not showing a ton on this thing. Possibly had a touchdown there, but it looks like they have removed that. Let me see if that's the case. I will step away. I was trying to do it earlier, and this tornado started acting a fool. Let me see what we have. Yep, they allowed that to expire. They canceled that warning, so that's even better. All right, I'm going to get out of here, guys. I doubt I'll be back live again. If I see a tornado warning pop up, I will jump on. But for now, I think it's mainly 40 to 60 mile per hour wind threat for Avoyelles, extreme eastern Rapides, and then into St. Landry Parish. Have a safe morning. I was going to say evening. I'm losing it on that, but I will see you back here later. Probably at some point this morning, I'll do a live stream talking about the next round of thunderstorms. I'm losing it. I'm tired. I'll see you back here later.
No matter the weather, Alexandria Emergency Hospital is always here for you. Rain or shine, our doors are open 24/7 to provide the care you and your loved ones need fast. Every second counts, and Alexandria Emergency Hospital is here to help you through any storm.